woman says she is a cleaner, but officers locate some paperwork in her suitcase that needs further explanation.
So we have some documents in her possession that she's had some air freight come through to Melbourne, and they're machine parts.
It's 1060.
What does that mean?
It's the machine. The name is 1060 or CO60.
We've come to know that these machine parts are in a holding yard in Melbourne. It seems that she's come to collect these parts and move them on.
The passenger tells officers she intends to sell the machine parts while she is in Melbourne.
Which company?
I don't know what the company.
Okay. So
I'm check that here.
So what?
My English is.
Okay. So it's a big risk to do this. You understand?
Why the risk?
Well, you brought machinery parts into Australia to
why
sell,
the
to
risk?
make a business. You want to make a business with it, you're saying?
But
It's a big risk for you to bring all these things here, but have nobody to talk to about it. No company,
Yeah,
no one to
but-
contact.
No contact.
She spent upwards of $20,000 on this trip, including the freight, her ticketing, about these machine parts, and she has little idea of what the machine parts actually for, what they're used for, or who she's going to sell them to.
Suspecting this passenger may be involved with drugs, Officer Brock begins to track down her shipment of machine parts, while a swab taken from her suitcase raises suspicions even further.
The 3 bags came back with high readings of cocaine, which generally indicates someone that's been using cocaine and/or could be cocaine in the bags.
A bag search will be conducted in a private room, but officers also need to inspect some machine parts the passenger has air freighted from Canada that she claims she is here to sell.
She doesn't present as a businesswoman. She has no idea about the parts. Initially, she can't really explain what they are, what they're for. Okay, guys, we need to get these machine parts x-rayed.
Suspecting the shipment may actually be narcotics, a Border Force Mobile Investigation Unit is deployed to the air freight company where the goods are waiting to be collected.
They've picked up traces of cocaine on the passenger that they're holding at the terminal, and we've been called out on an urgent job to have a look at this consignment. So we're going to put them through the x-ray and see if we can get some images and see if we can see if there's any concealments inside.
There are 10 machine bearings, as the passenger described, weighing a hefty 50 kilograms each. And as they are put through the x-ray, the image is not what officers were expecting.
It's very dense metal, but we're not seeing any sign of organics so far.
Believing the x-ray machine is unable to penetrate the thick steel, the drug detector dog unit is called in. But first, they remove a small screw from one of the parts.
At least the dog might be able to get a little bit of odour from it.
It's only a small opening, but detector dog Upton will sit if he picks up any scent of narcotics. It's a positive response.
Anything that the dog sits to and stays is as strong as a reaction you're going to get.
We ran the dogs over all of these pieces, and we had a pretty strong reaction on one of them.
Good job!
Our problem is now we can't get them open.
The parts are thick industrial steel and are sealed shut, so officers need to move on.
We've decided to take the one that we had a positive reaction from back to our garage, where we have a few more tools.
The team turned to the Border Force Air Cargo Depot, where using an angle grinder, they will attempt to slice through the side of the machine part. Back at the airport, the passenger has undergone a non-medical x-ray to check if she is carrying any narcotics internally.
We've body scanned the passenger, and at this stage the x-rays have come back negative. So we're pretty happy that the passenger isn't carrying any narcotics. So now we're going to concentrate more on the freight that she's linked with. My gut feel is that these machine parts will be loaded with drugs.
Officers at the Air Cargo Depot continue to examine the machine parts imported by the passenger.
Wow.
And finally, they have a breakthrough.
Possibly a little white powder. Possibly.
A sample of the tightly packed substance will be tested to confirm any traces of narcotics.
as an alarm for cocaine. So considering that we have a white powder and an alarm for cocaine, there's a good suggestion that we've got a pretty good concealment. That said, possibly one of the best concealments I've ever seen.
Excitement builds as it appears all their hard work is about to pay off. And a second test using a narcotics indicator kit will confirm if the powder is cocaine.
Oh, it's pulling straight away.
Woo! We've hit the mother load. It's cocaine. Good day's work. Well done, buddy.
It's an incredible find, but the investigation is not over yet. The remaining 9 machine parts may also be loaded. The passenger will remain at the airport with the Australian Federal Police, while the remaining 9 machine parts are deconstructed using industrial machinery.
At the moment, we know that there's drugs within one of the bearings that's been imported. We're here today to find out whether or not there's drugs in all 10.
As the outer layer of each part is disassembled, workers locate a second inner sleeve of steel. They then use an industrial lathe to cut into the metal sleeve.
We have to be very careful and very precise to make sure that we don't breach the internal cavity and spill the drugs everywhere.
As the end is removed, there appears to be black plastic inside, which, when emptied, reveals a tightly packed cylinder of what they believe will be cocaine. And it seems all 10 are loaded.
Each of the discs weighs about 1.5 kilos, so we're looking at about 15 kilos worth of drugs.
Final testing of the substance will be carried out in a lab, but it's not looking good for the passenger.
The maximum penalty for the importation of this much cocaine is life imprisonment.
Back at the airport, the woman is arrested and taken into police custody.